I'm Pat McMahon, and I'd like to introduce you to a supermodel, an actress, an athlete, and all of the above in her time. But for the last several years, what has her career been? This is the reason we invited Letitia Frye, because she is one of the nation's foremost auctioneers. Letitia, we're delighted to have you on, particularly because everybody's going to ask, an auctioneer, wait a minute, hold on. When did that start?
Oh, Pat, first of all, thanks for having me virtually here on the show.
You bet.
And, it's kind of funny. I've been doing this for 16 years, which is kind of a blink of an eye how long that's been, but how quick it seems. And it's an auctioneer.
But you don't look like an auctioneer. You don't look like those guys selling tobacco and horses and cattle and so on. The kinds of things, however, you raise money for are the organizations we're most proud to have in our community. For example, just toss off a few.
Well, Child Help, Make-A-Wish, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Phoenix Children's Hospital. Let's see, UMOM. We have, Homeward Bound.
We're already running out of time, and you've only gone through a few of them. Here's the number, though, that I wonder if we shouldn't hit right off the top.
Yep.
The total money that you have raised for charities so far. I read a figure. Can you tell me?
Yeah, well, the figure you read is actually lower than what it is. The figure you read is $500 million. And actually, over the past 16 years, I've probably raised close to $600 million at this point. Yeah.
And you do it differently than any auctioneer I've ever seen in my life. The first time that I ever attended an event, they said, okay, well, then there is the obligatory auction, the fundraiser. And I'm thinking, oh, here's a guy who's coming up, and he's doing this, and he's pointing, and this gorgeous woman that's on the stage. And it seemed as if you were a part of that organization. You knew so much about the people you were raising money for. What kind of preparation does that take?
You know, Pat, that's probably the most important part of my job and part of the moniker that I moved from just auctioneer to known as auctiontainer, because it was about entertainment and about researching a role. As you know, I'm a theater major from USC, and with a background in theater and as a performer yourself, you know that you have to research the role you're playing. So I started to treat my nonprofit events like a role I was playing by diving into them. So it means I go and volunteer for them for at least a day, sometimes weeks, and oftentimes for years, whether that's a camp at a camp for children with cancer, or I'm in Haiti helping orphans, or I'm actually out rescuing animals, or whatever I'm doing. Even this week, 2 days ago, I was at Tucson Medical Center, and I was up in a helicopter flying over Tucson with their medical relief team. Yeah, so it's actually pretty exciting work, too.
Listen, one of the most interesting facets of your personal life is the fact that a while back, you were struck by a car so seriously that you were brain injured. Has that experience itself, the hospitalization and the therapy thereafter, has that motivated you to participate with all of these other people in need?
It was definitely giving me a different perspective. I was very motivated, and people would ask me how I chose who I worked with, which really was always basically whoever was in need. But after going through a post-traumatic stress disorder, a traumatic brain injury, all of the above that you mentioned, vertigo, seizures, all sorts of things, I had a big affinity for our veterans and our dementia patients, both. They became a far more important aspect of my work because I just got a little glimpse into what that is like to lose memory and thought, and to walk into Walmart and possibly have a seizure or a form of a panic attack. And so it did give me a different and more empathetic view into their world.
All right. So if you want to get in touch with Letitia Frye, it's Letitia Frye, LLC, FRYE, for your upcoming event. If you want to raise $500 or $600 million or so. And very quickly, you've got a book coming out.
It's came out. It came out in the middle of the pandemic. What a great time, right? It came out on Monday, July 6th. It's called No Reserve, a little fun there on a terminology in the auction world. And actually, people are referring to it as the COVID handbook because it's about overcoming adversity and living a life without limitations and facing financial upheaval and grief head on, and how to actually turn those adversities into opportunities.
Letitia Frye, I'm glad you're here, but I'm also glad I
Me too.
know you. Thank you so much for
Me
being a
too,
part of
Pat.
the
Thank
show.
you.